Go ahead.
All right, we should be good to go this time. So coming back from meditation, or maybe I deleted that clip. So let's try again, just in case. Coming back to meditation, if you've started moving and breathing, no worries, take your time, start to move and breathe. So we're going to slowly begin to link breath to our body and then body and movement. So taking your time, I'm going to take my last sip of coffee. And then ask yourself, are you drinking because you don't want to be doing what we're doing, or do you really need a drink at that time? Remember when that was first posed to me, rules in the yoga room were a lot different then. You would get yelled at, and people's water bottles would actually get chucked out into the hallways, and cell phones would not be even permitted, let alone all those crazy BP watches people are wearing these days. So if you are attached to your electronics so much that you're actually wearing them on your body, can you give yourself an opportunity to disengage for a little while? It's really important at this time of overstimulating ourselves. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, kisses from Charlie. Thank you. All right, I need you to back off, sir, because we're going to get going doing some yoga here. All right, so as you come on into hands and knees, tabletop pose, we're going to take some cat-cows. So if you enjoy taking your cat-cows from hands and knees, go ahead and take them there. If you prefer to come to seated, or stay in seated and take them there, or into down dog. So at the end of the last video, which I had to delete because it was sideways, I was talking about my sleepy Saturday brain. And so good morning to me and good morning to you. You might hear me say things that don't make sense. So as I wake up this morning, let's start those cat-cows. Inhale, lift your gaze and your tailbone. Exhale, round and arch your back. And while I'm doing a lot of modeling, a lot of demonstrating in these poses, I'm going to pretend there's a field of you out there usually taking this Yoga Barre class with me on Saturday mornings. So enjoy using my modeling as a way to help make sure that you are doing the poses that I'm calling, but don't by any means let it dictate how your practice should look. So, and gratitude was our overall intention for the entire practice today. Gratitude for those who are still keeping the world working. Good. Add in some of those hip circles if it feels good. Maybe some barrel rolls with your chest. And get those carpal tunnels stretched out. Make sure your wrists are ready to go this morning before we start adding more body weight to them. All right, so just taking some time for some simple warm-up maneuvers so that you can feel good in the skin you're in. And not hurt yourself as we begin to do the practice. So we're going to come into down dog. I like to start our practice off in our Yoga Barre class after meditation with some yoga warm-ups. So we're going to do a little flow, and we go through it nice and slow to build muscle memory and heat and bone density. So come into your down dog. I like to remind everybody each time they come into class, pull the shoulder blades onto your back and push the ground away with your hands. That first knuckle under each finger, and then try to push the palm flat. It's really challenging to do. Getting hand strength takes time, so be aware of yours. And if you're at hand strength point, then you want to push with the pads of each finger, like you're Spider-Manning the mat. Like you really want to grip with your fingers. So then you can push the ground away. The neck can be neutral, ears between the biceps. Your chin could be curled under as you take your cat-like pose, or you could spike the hips, allow the spine to arc, and slightly lift your gaze for the cow-like pose. So you're going to get a different experience. You could also tuck your head in for the cow-like pose and get a different stretch. So I'm going to recommend that you find the down dog that's going to work best for you. And before we get this flow starting where I want it to start, let's give these arms a little bit of a break and feel what it's going to be like in your body today. If you've been eating like I have, you're going to feel heavy. You're going to slowly walk, hop, or float your feet up to the front of the mat. Take the inhale for your half lift. If hands don't reach the floor, use the blocks so you can push away. And if you use your shins or your thighs, remember we're pushing away with our hands, but we're pushing back with our legs so that we don't hyperextend in the knees, right? And we actually have a firm foundation to lift and lengthen. Pull your navel into your spine, and then exhale, full fold. So when we full fold, the idea is that we lengthen the spine. We're trying to get it flat to our body. We're trying to take that rounding curve out that a lot of us have because of holding on to phones. Take 2 more breaths. Or tablets, or keyboarding, or steering wheels, whatever we round and hunch over. Right? And most of us spend hours a day doing it. We're going to root down through the feet, come all the way up through standing. Arms and gaze go overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Give yourself a moment to set your own personal intention for today's practice. Begin your deeper diaphragmatic way of breathing. If you're unfamiliar with diaphragmatic breath, we inhale and inflate the lungs to a 4 to 8 count breath in, and then we follow it up with a 4 to 8 count breath out. So if you have a smaller lung capacity, you probably get to a nice 4 counted. If you have a larger lung capacity, you're probably going to be able to count up to 8. And then we exhale it back out. You can start to restrict the glottis in your throat, and it's going to pick up sound. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. You can really hear it in Brad's video yesterday, his ujjayi. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, feet back, high plank, knees up or down, always your choice. Right? We don't want to keep our chin lifted and our belly swagging. That's a bad idea for our backs and our bellies. Right? So we want to make sure, here's an easy trick for some of you too. I have a captive audience on video, so this is kind of how it goes in class though with us sometimes, but usually I get questions and answers from you guys too. So we're going to take a block and put it under our belly button in our high plank, or close enough. And so as you exhale and lower down, if your belly touch that low block or book, that's your sign you need to put your knees down, right? Because otherwise, you're probably jumping into your shoulder heads or into your low back. Right? And chaturanga, don't define your yoga practice by a yoga pose. The purpose of chaturanga is to get upper body strong. So make sure you're doing it at the level that your body works today. So pushing through to up dog, we push with the biceps until we get all the way up here. And then you can either put your thighs down for supported so you can bend the elbows, pull the heart through, shoulders down your back. Nice lift to the chin. You can even pull that bottom lip up and over your top lip. What's the matter, vinyasa people? What's your hurry? Holding poses is how we grow and build in our practice. Turn those toes under and send your hips up and back. I am working on rolling all the way over the tops of my feet, but I'm not quite there yet. So when I do that, I kind of hang out on my toes and get a nice good stretch on the top of my foot. So I won't be cueing a lot of the things I do because it's personal to my practice. As you take your right leg up to the sky, push out through the heel, get a nice long length in the leg, and then bend the knee. Stack the hips, and notice your right shoulder came with your right hip. So we have to actively pull that shoulder back toward the ground and get this twist from the rib cage, or we have to acknowledge that you're coming into a variation of Vastisthasana, which is sage pose, which is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. As you exhale, we're going to pull the nose and the knee together. Squeeze your foot into your fanny, and then see if you can come up onto the ball of your back foot. Push the ground away, tuck your nose and chin in, squeeze your foot to your fanny, and then step your foot up between your hands. Oh, it's Miss Kitty's turn. Pivot and plant your back foot. So this is where I see a lot of people do warrior one wrong, right? If that foot crosses over here or is way back here, you're not going to get your hip square. So go ahead and take that foot over so that this heel is in front of this hip and this heel is in front of this hip. Then when you lift up, the hips can face forward, right? But if this foot is way over here, look at where that hip is going. And then I'm going to try and pull it forward, and then it gets really awkward in the pelvis. So let's keep it aligned. So we open up these lines of energies, strengthen this leg, and start to work into the foot and the knee strength in our warrior one pose. Take the hands up when you're ready and slide the shoulders down. And these pants keep rolling, so I'll probably be doing a lot of clothing adjusts. So as you sink into the warrior one, see if you can lift your hands. Let your shoulders, time for the jacket to go. Let your shoulders slide down into your sockets. So when our arms aren't ready to straighten, there's some tightness going on here and we can't get the arms straight. Where is it? Is it tricep? Is it in the scapula? Is it the bicep? Is it through the shoulders, the rhomboids? Breathe and feel it. And one day it's gonna go. It's just gonna go. As you exhale, we're gonna bring the left hand down inside the foot. The right hand's gonna go up. Keep that right hip from popping out. Push the ground away. Open the shoulders. Open the hand. Thumb is over the nose. So if your hand's way back there, bring it over here. Right? And open your hand. Notice what's going on with your foot base. Firm it up. Take one more great big breath in this warrior one twist. And then look down for stability. Inhale, come on up. We're going to open up to superstar. Facing the long edge of your mat. All 10 toes are going to turn out. And you're going to drop into your Buddha squat. You can bring hands to heart center. You can keep them in cactus. Right? Navel in to keep the tailbone rolling under. Sit low in the squat. Good. Push into the big toe mound, the pinky toe, and then the heels. Good. And then just sink a little lower. Push into the big toe, the pinky toe, the heels. Good. If you need more intensity, take the arms up. If they won't stay straight, interlace the fingers and pull. Pull the shoulders down. Drop it down. One more breath. We can do this. Smile. We're just prepping. We'll have squats later, so let's not fry our legs. This is a warm-up for them. Good. Straighten back into superstar. We're going to turn to the back of the mat, so your left leg will be in front, and the right foot will be down, or it'll be on the ball of the foot. It depends on your flexibility here. So we're going to take a nice little lean back, and then fold over. And we're using this waterfall. Square the hips, squeeze the inner thighs as a pass-through pose. We're going to lift the right leg up to the sky, a nice big standing splits. Square those hips off. And think belly to thigh, chin to shin. It's not so much about how high that leg goes up. Eventually it's going to go. So make it about this forward fold. Some of you are going to need to grab with both hands or one hand and start to pull yourself in. And feel the wobble and shake. It's an awesome place to be. And then we're going to step back for dragonfly twist. Push the ground away and open up their shoulders, square the hips off, and we're going to drop the bottom knee. As the right knee touches the ground, we're going to pick the left leg up and swing it all the way back as far behind as you can. And then as you pick it up, we're going to crunch. And then we're going to swing it all the way as far forward as you can. And if that doesn't work, add in another crunch there. Or just keep moving it all the way over. So front to back with a crunch in between, knee and elbow pointing at the ceiling. Right? So if we flatten it out, we get closer together. We want to work this oblique, so keep them pointing up. And then take it over and back. Good, and the next time your foot steps forward, We're dropping into a nice deep low runner's lunge. Or crescent prep. Hands on the blocks to give you the support to pull the shoulders down, navel in, hips towards one another. And breathe as that psoas releases. Shoulders down. Good. Take it back into half splits. So you can either point the toe or flex the foot. Right now I'm working on pointing the toe and trying to keep this side of the foot down because it really wants to pull up and roll out on that side. So engaging and strengthening the inner side of the leg is going to be very productive for my practice. So once we figure out how our bodies are going to take what I call sheets, those are the paths of least resistance. To lift my foot would make it easier on my body. To keep it down, that's hard. Okay, from here, you can curl the back toes under, swing that leg back, and we're back into high plank. You can take your vinyasa, aka half vinyasa. And when you get to down dog, so the vinyasa is your chaturanga, your up dog, and your down dog. You're going to take the left leg up. We're going to square those hips. We're going to take 3 breaths. Push from the ground away, shoulders down the back, navel in, heel lifted, hips are squaring. And then we bend, twist, and open. Notice what those shoulders are up to. All right, so when we're twisting, and this is a bend, we bend the knee, and we twist to open. So what is twisting? If our shoulder's coming with our hip, we're not really twisting, we're just opening. And it's all good, it feels good. Just be aware of what you're doing. Good. Bring nose and knee together. Come up onto the ball of the last foot. I usually try and go a little bit quicker on the second side. So I'm going to really try to work out going just as slow on the second side. Pull that foot up into your fanny, push the ground away, engage your shoulders, step your foot up. Mindful of where your back foot goes. Inhale up, warrior one. So it's the back side of the foot, root, and then push into the big toe mound. That's going to fire up this leg, and now you're going to be able to drive your hip around. And then as we sink into the lunge by pushing the floor down and away, you're going to be able to feel that power. Navel in, protects the low back. Arms go up. If yours aren't straight, investigate where that's happening. Push the ground away with both feet. Fire it up. Fire up, chips. Feel the shoulders come back down your spine. And as you take your exhale, right hand down, left hand up. Oh, by the way, you can put whatever music background you want in your own practice. It's too many layers of sound in ours. Dropping nice and deep into those hips. One more breath. Let your head come down for stability. And then inhale, come all the way up. Open to superstar. Drop it into your Buddha squat. And this time, we're going to keep ourselves nice and low. Maybe you can stretch that leg out or pop up onto the heel. And if you can keep the hands up, we're going to keep the hands up. Of course, if you bring them down, there's no crying. You won't go to yoga jail today. Good, 2 more to each side. I don't breathe well. I don't count well. One more. I am having breathing trouble today. And as you come around, come back through center. Almost forgot. Get too excited. We come up through superstar. Grab a little standing back bend there. As big as yours wants to go this morning. Keep those shoulders down. It's about the hips coming forward and getting rid of that tightness in our pelvis. Turn the feet forward. So we're stretching out the hamstrings, getting a nice little squeeze of those inner thighs. We're going to use this as our prep pose. We're going to step the right foot back, drop the left knee down, extend up for a side arm plank. Let the leg lift, extend, breathe, push your heart forward, and then take some crunches, knee and elbow at the ceiling, or working in that direction. Toe taps forward and back, all the way behind, with a crunch in the middle. Now I know some of you are going to want that twist added in, but we're going to step our foot up, so when you're on your own, you'll take that bind behind your back if you want to. Hands are going to come down to the ground. Or your blocks. Mine are at the back of my mat now. So when we don't have blocks or books, we cupcake the fingers. Navel in. How low can you drop? Shoulders down. Chest forward. If your body parts are helping you, maybe you get your chest off your thigh. See where you go today. Drop it into half splits. Now we are trying to keep the hip over the knee, so the fuller you go back here, the less stress it is on the hamstrings. So that's up to you. We're working to keep the big toe knuckle down. Not such a challenge on this side for me as it was on the other side. It's harder to keep my pinky toe down on this side. And so when we feel those kinetic chains of energy moving through our body, we can make the adjustments we need. Good. And we're going to come on back. Sweep that leg back. And we're in our high plank, knees up or down. Take your chaturanga. You're up dog. And then you're down dog. Take your right leg up to the sky. Bend, twist, and open. If you flip, go ahead, flip. Nose and knee together. Squeeze it out. Step the foot up. Pivot and plant. The back foot, warrior one. Take a full round of breath to set it. Plant the left hand out, right hand goes up. Stay rooted through your back foot and pull your right hip in. Revolve this. Thumb is over nose. Inhale, come on up through superstar. Take a nice little standing back bend. And then drop into your Buddha squat. Good. This one, let's pick up the heels. And if two at one time isn't going to work, do one at a time. And if one at a time just looks fun, then do one at a time. And we'll go a little bit lower in the seat. Smile. Here we go. For 8, 7, 6, 5. Strong ankles. Who wants to have a broken ankle when they get older? Raise your hand. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up into superstar. Pivot to the back of your mat. Take a nice little layout. And then a forward fold. Take a breath to set your fold. Square those amazing hips off. Shoulders on your back. Engage your sternum. Step your left foot back. Drop your right knee down. Left hand goes up. Extend and crunch and bypass and crunch and behind. 3 more. So yeah, if you want to add the bind bind in here. Add the bind in, but taking us forward for our kneeling crescent. Stretching out those psoas muscles today. If you need to lift your hands, lift them. If not, rock it back, half splits. Now if you got a great tune going and you know where this flow is headed, you're going to finish the left side, and if you really want it, you're going to take this flow one more time. If not, you're with me, we're going to finish this left side. We're going to step back, high plank, lower chaturanga, up dog, down dog. We're on the left leg goes up. Bend, twist, and open. Squeeze it under. So you can step it up with control. Lift. Warrior one. Now, as side jammage happens, there's this opportunity to fix my pain. When we collapse, right? I saw a lot of collapsing, especially when our feet cross in warrior one. So, belly's in, long spine. Maybe you don't get to lunge as deep in that leg, but once this is supported, you'll be able to deeply lunge as long as you want to. We're going to twist. And if you get to hold those poses while I'm yakking, that's a really good thing. That's where we're going to build strength. Good. One more. Really sink into this lunge. And then we open up into superstar. Drop it into the Buddha squat. And then we're going to lunge it out side to side. We're working on keeping both heels down. Or taking the toes up. Where do your tiger lunges take you today? One more to each side. This way when you end up on the right, come back through superstar. I don't know why I want to forget that on this side. Take it all the way up and back. Turn it forward. Some of those simplest transitions can be the most challenging, so be patient with yourself, especially on the sticky mats. You can feel my own hip lifting, so make sure when you find those places in your body where you know your body's habits. That's the point, to work some of those habits out. Step it back. Six crunches or 3 bypass crunches. And one of the important parts of these crunches is keeping the hips moving forward and the ribs up at the sky. On your very last one, step it up and drop into a kneeling crescent. So it's been really fun. Had the whole family at home, which I go into mom mode, so I like to cook. Take it back into half splits because I like to eat. Been taking advantage of the free time, enjoying some ciders, some adult beverages. Oh, all this healthy and unhealthy eating made my muscles very stiff. Good, step it back. And if you're taking one more round, go ahead, we'll meet you. If you're coming into a child pose or a resting pose, take your break. You get about 5 breaths. And usually this is the time that I start walking around the classroom and either assisting those who are still flowing or doing some child pose assist. So it's very interesting to me to just be in child pose. All right, give yourself 3 more breaths. If you're still flowing, you'll catch up. You're going to want your books, your blocks, or your water bottles, and we're going to meet standing at the front of the mat. If you're not ready, you just take your time. So cork blocks, foam blocks, and water bottles are all gonna do the same thing. We're working on hand strength. And as a byproduct, we're gonna work the forearm, we're gonna work the front of the arm, we're gonna work the bicep and the tricep. Because, and your hand, because we're gonna be squeezing the block. So the cork blocks aren't all that heavy. I don't even think they make it up to 2 pounds. The foam blocks are less than a pound, or about a pound, I think. So, and water bottles are about a pound. So keep it in a really light zone. I've had boys in this class drop their blocks because it gets intense. So keep that in mind, that at any time you need to take a break, you'll take a break. So when we start moving with our blocks, and we will, when we get, this is a good break. You can stack the bones and take a break here. You can rest the blocks on your head and take a break here. You can lower the arms down and take a break here. So a lot of the vinyasa classes are way more fun when we're strong, and so now we're going to target specific areas. So we're going to take our feet a little wider than hip distance and the toes parallel, so facing forward. But we're going to come down into a football squat. So forearms on your thighs and blocks out in front. So when we get down low, what I want you to do is focus on getting the knees stacked over the ankle. Right? Let your sit bones go out behind you. Pull your navel in, and then release your navel. And then pull your navel in, and then release. 3 more times. Notice what happens when you engage your belly. That's a really important feature when we start lifting with these blocks. Good. Pull the navel in, keep it. Now stack your shoulders right over your hips, right? So we're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back, we're trying to stack, right? So depending on which way your pelvis rolls, you might have issues with that. So that's what we're going to be working on today, leveling out that pelvis. And to keep your mind off of it, we're going to do some more work. So we're going to take the blocks out in front. Try to keep them up as high as your shoulders. Sink a little more, drop into the heels, push into the toes. Bend the elbows up, straighten the elbows. Good. So usually, there's a habit. Good. I don't even know what you guys are doing. Good. I give us a few practice rounds so I can make sure everybody's stance is correct. And then we go for 8s. Bend the elbows, straighten the elbows. This is from the elbows. Squeeze the block with your pinky finger. And sink a little lower into your heels. Pick up your pelvic floor, perineum, and number 2 bathroom muscle. Pull in on the navel. Did your elbows drop? Smile, because there's just 3, 2, and if you're new to this class and you're like, well, this isn't even happening yet, what the heck? Give it 10, and 1. Hold those blocks out, shoulders down, belly in, sink into that lunge, push into your feet for 8. Let that burn come, 7. Are you breathing deep? 6. Where'd your navel go? 5. 4. Where's the weight in your feet? 3. Smile. Why? Because it's 2. And 1. Straighten the arms and the legs. This is our break. If you need more of a break, shake it out. And let those arms down. You can even let go of the block and shake it out. All right, now we're going to come into first position. So you're going to bring the heels together, and we're going to drop into a plie. Now, in ballet, it is imperative that your butt do not stick out, so don't stick your butt out. Right? So we have to pull in with our navel, and then most of us won't bend very far in the knees. When the flexibility on the inside of your leg matches the strength and flexibility on the outside, you're going to get deep in your plie. Until then, big toes, pinky toes, heels, drop in, shoulders down, belly in, everybody's favorite, arms out. And then they go up, and then out, and then around. From the shoulders, up, out, around. Squeeze your blocks, belly in, up, out, around. Good, here we go. 6. Off Charlie's back. 5. Try not to let the shoulders squeeze up around you. 4. Sink a little lower. 3. Open the knees a little wider. Alright, your block's getting heavy. Pull your belly in. 2. And last one. Hold a mountain T. Hold a mountain T. Drop, drop, drop. Good. Now straighten the legs. Come all the way up into your releve. And hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Shoulders down. 3, 2, and 1. Drop those heels. Drop those hips. Good. Now rotate. Forward and back. 1, 2. Sink a little lower. Good. Belly's in. Good. 5. Oh, feel that heat. Good. Sink a little lower. Navel in. Last 2. Last 1. Good. Straighten the legs. Straighten the arms. Shake something out. If you need more time, take more time. Alright, here we go. We're coming into, I believe that's 4th position. So from here, we're going to step our right foot forward. And then we're going to push back into our left foot. And then straighten both legs. Squeeze your bum together and push down through the first knuckle and each toe. And then your heels. Good. Arms out in front. Sink into your plie. Drop just as low as you can go. And then put the weight equally in both heels. So this one's tough for that. Belly button in. Turn your thumbs down. Good. Lift it up. Take it out. Bring it together. Lift it up. Take it out. Together. Good. Sink a little lower. Stretching out that back heel and creating strength in it. Really important. Good. Keep pulling the navel in. Smile. Breathe. Push the ground away. Last 3. 2. And 1. Hold them up overhead this time. Good. Well, you could cactus them as well. So it's up to you where you want that energy to be this morning. Straighten the legs and then releve. So when we releve, we're trying to balance between the balls of the feet and the balls of the toes. And then we work to fire up the legs, the glutes, the belly, shoulders down, arms strong. For 3, 2, and 1. Come on back to first position. Shake it out if you need to. And left foot forward. Feel that weight between the two. And then push firmly into both legs. Squeeze. Yeah, here we go. Take it up. And then we're going to bring it down. Open. Up. Pull, bend those knees. Ooh, I almost forgot this. Open. And up. Down. Open. And up. Thumbs are down this time. Good. Where's the weight? Is it balanced between both your feet? You got this. Breathing deep. Up. Forward. And out. Up. Forward. And out. We got a couple more. Keep breathing. Where'd your navel go? Good. Can you drop a little lower? Where's the weight between your feet? Slow and steady. We don't have to throw ourselves at it like some maniac. We can do self-care for the fun and for the love of our body. Last 2. celebrate being human and honor the skin you're in. Good. Keep those arms up and releve. And cactus the arms this time. If you did it on the other arm, keep them straight. If you kept them straight, shoulders down, navel in, balance the weight out between all 10 toes. And when you fall down, smile, get back up. Because that's fun. And last 3, 2, firm up your legs, squeeze your belly. And 1, step back to first position. Good, shake it out if you need to. One last round. So we're gonna come back to first position and drop into the knees. Good, take the arms out in front and then to the side. Elbows in, elbows out. For 8, straighten and bend. For 6, bellies in, shoulders down. And 5, and 4, you're squeezing, and 3, everything, and 2, and breathing, and 1. Good. Go ahead and set those blocks aside, and shake out the arms, shake out the legs, take the hands behind you, open up, take them back. When I open up, I flare, don't flare. Pull it all back in. Stretch what needs stretching. And if it feels good, take it into a forward fold. Good, and then we're gonna bring it across the body line. Roll the hand around. Take it across the body line. Roll the hand around. Stretch it up, stretch it down, and then meet me in hero's pose. So if you need to sit on a block, sit on a block. Knees together, feet apart. Take a nice little twist to either side. I went to the left first. Sit up tall, stack your shoulders, navel in, breathing deep. Take a twist to the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. Relax your shoulders. And then as you come back through center, we're going to keep the, no we're not. We're going to sit onto our left hip and bring our left shin forward and our right shin out to the side. So if you haven't had fun with these are from Debbie Hamna. So there's a couple different ways we can do these. You can keep your hands at heart center, you can support yourself, or you can support yourself back here. So you'll be the master of your own decision there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up the right knee, and then drop it down, and then pick up the right foot. The right knee, the right foot. And then the idea is to stay on your left hip, right? So if I lean forward, I can really pick that foot up. But if I keep my left hip down, oh, I have to use the IT band. And that guy's weak. Here we go, 8, 7. So if you're rocking, put your hands in front. Good. Breathe deep, navel to the belt, navel to spine. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if your blocks are in the way like mine are, you're going to get them out of the way, or you can use them as a prop. Some of you will go into badass mode here, I'm sure. Hi, Charlie. We're going to pick up our leg, and we're going to swing it around Charlie, and then we're going to reach all the way back with that hip and get a good stretch here. And then we're going to reach all the way around and tap. And then we're going to reach all the way back. Notice how much I'm leaning to lean back. Rock it around, rock it back. Rock it around, and rock it back. Here we go for 5. So thinking about the left hip bone being super glued to the floor. 3. So strengthening psoas as well as stretching, and working that TVA, the transverse abdominis as well. So all the way around, good. Last 3, 2, and cross it over. If it needs a helping hand, pull it in. If this bottom leg needs to go straight, straighten it out. Right? The idea is that we get both of our bottoms down. And then we're going to hug the knee in and twist. Sit up nice and tall. So we did a lot of work to strengthen the legs and the glutes. What we were doing those plies. And we were working on the arms. So for those of you who have a bigger arm bind, maybe you want to take the right hand behind your back and the left across the elbow. Maybe you can go all the way through for the bind. Work our big toe down so that, and hips down, so we get that good stretch right across through some of those gluteus minimises. Coming back through center, the right shin's going to come forward, the left shin's going to go back, and then the hands are going to come to heart center. I should have did this side first. This side is my hard side, so smile when my ego gets in the way. Good, so we're going to pick up the left knee. You know, Charlie, thank you for the kisses. And then we're going to pick up the left foot. Good boy, lay down. And then the knee, and then the foot, and then the knee, and then the foot. Good. Did you see that? That's awful. Oh, come on, IT man. Good. Lift. And lift. So just notice which side of this is harder for you. Here we go for 8, 7. Charlie's trying to clean the cat now. That can't clean me. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last 1. Good. So when that happens, we're going to swing that leg all the way around, tap, and then all the way back, and around, and back. Yeah, let's do 10 more. 10. Try not to let momentum be the thing that moves you. Good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. How's that leg doing? It's getting tired yet? 2. You got this last one. Come on. 1. Cross it over. Help it out if it needs help. Right? Bottom leg. Take it out straight. If you need to put both butt cheeks down that way, right? All our bodies are different, so be kind to yours. Then we're going to twist to the left. Hold on, Miss Kitty. Excuse me. I'm going to leave you to finish this twist on your own. I boxed my kitty out of her food. There you go. All right. I was having some glare earlier today. Unwind yourself back through center. Let's take this down for some core work. So when you come to the middle of your mat, we're going to slowly lower down, kind of like we're doing old school sit-ups. So plant your feet. We are going to do old school sit-ups. Lower down. I should have thought about that before I suggested it on live Facebook. Good. Now, this is my nemesis, my weak belly. As you exhale, sit up. And as you inhale, lower down. Good. 8 more. And hopefully you're busy rocketing through these. You're not watching me suffer them out. So if you're really strong in the core, you're going to need to do double the amount. If you're like me and you're still throwing yourself at the first half, what are those muscles we need to strengthen so we can just lift ourselves up and lower ourselves down? Last 3, core strength in yoga when we get to vinyasa is so much fun. Because that's where all the fancy poses come from. When you finish your last one, you're going to hug your knees in. And so many of us will just muscle our way through. Good boy, Charlie. Good boy. I need to go sit down. Go on. Good boy. Lay down. Good. We're going to take our feet up to the sky. We're going to take our hands up to the sky. And then we're going to lift our nose. And then from here, we're going to slowly lower down the right leg. And then lift it back up, and then the left leg. And then the right leg. The left leg. And the stronger you are, the higher you're going to lift. But keep those palms facing up. Don't let them start to face the wall. We want to face the ceiling. Now, if it's too intense, bend your knees. If it's not intense enough, both legs at the same time. Here we go. You have 20, 19. Keep the low back glued down if you can. And feel the power. You know, you can take a break when you need to rest. Lift back up. If the legs are tight, it's one leg at a time. Maybe you bicycle it out. And here we go for our last 10. My palms are slided. Strong belly breath. And some days we feel stronger than others. Where's your strength today? Well, I see, I usually have somebody in the class who's counting and who's keeping track of the temperature in the room. Last 3. We're coming into bridge from these. 2. And 1. Pulling the knees into the chest. Rocking gently side to side. And then plant the feet on the mat right behind your hips. If your low back is tight, take them wider. If your low back is loosey-goosey, bring them closer. Right? Otherwise, it's right behind the hip bones, as close to your butt as you can get them. And then we're going to push into the hands and the feet, walk your shoulders under, and lift your hips for bridge. And once you get your hips lifted, push into your heels. And then your big toe mounds. And then your pinky toes. And then the big toes again, so that we keep the inner rotation of the thigh. Now, if your glutes just went, relax them. Now, engage your glutes. Lift, lift, lift. And hold here and breathe for 5. Big, strong breaths in. Even bigger, longer breaths out. Can you interlace your hands under your back? What about reach your ankles? Are you just happy you got your palms flat on the ground? I spent 3 years just getting my palms flat. This practice will grow for each of us as our body releases the tension. So don't force. That's how we got the tension in the first place. Breathe. When you come down, undulate your spine like a bike chain. 1 vertebra at a time. And then one last time. Take it on up. Low, mid, upper back. If you have a bigger back bend this time, plant the hands. And maybe you lift up just to the top of your head. If you're ready to lift all the way up, lift all the way up. Knowing that you have the power of your practice to take it to the level you need. 3 more great big breaths. When you finish your 3rd breath, you're going to come down. Now you might need to hug your knees in and take a twist. You might need one more back bend. Some of you might need candlestick, headstand or shoulder stand. I'm gonna opt for twists today because I'm listening to my body and it's still not ready for all this activity. So after big back bends, twists can neutralize the spine. We'll take it back and forth. Hi Charlie, you again. Good boy. You're gonna need to lay down now. So then once you finish, give yourself at least 5 more breaths if you're inverted. Oh, as long as you'd like. So this is a video, or a live recording, soon to be a video. And then I'm going to come right into Shavasana, because that's what message I'm getting from my body. In my week of hibernation mode, sadness. And big movements can feel really good. But honoring what my body is saying, it's saying relax, be still. So instead of laying here for the full 10 minutes, I'm going to take a few more breaths and then end the practice. You can always pause here, set a timer, and then conclude your practice when you're ready. Bringing hands to heart center, empowering it. Thank you once again for tuning in, taking time to take care of yourself. And for those of you who are interested in what we do in Yoga Barre, that's a little bit of what we do. Every week I change it up. So we work on different areas of the body to strengthen. And it was my pleasure to guide you through your practice today. Let's take an Om to conclude our practice. My morning Oms are really shallow on the So let's see how I do this morning. Take a cleansing breath if you'd like it. Thank you so much for being here. Gratitude to everybody out there keeping the world running. And those of you inside watching with me. Namaste. Thank you so much. My intention is to get a yin class recorded today. Whether I get it off live or not, I'm not sure. I'll have to figure out a way to keep Charlie out there, especially for yin. So thank you also very much for joining me, and I'm sure Brad will have this recorded on YouTube soon. So thank you all so very much, and we'll talk to you soon. Brandy had a class on earlier, so if you didn't check that out, you can check that one out too.